Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a genuinely fascinating case study of community development, structural organization, and women's empowerment. We're going to be exploring the Islamabad Model College for Girls, Humak, or IMCG Humak for short. Tucked away in suburban Islamabad, this institution is basically a perfect microcosm of how targeted public education can completely transform a local demographic.
And you get a feel for their ambition right away from their theme, where intellect meets innovation. It tells us immediately that this place isn't just about rote memorization. It's really about fostering a community where high-level academic thought is directly applied to modern challenges.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start by looking at how they bridge the local education gap. Then we'll break down their academic engine, untangle the federal structure and fees, take a tour of campus and student life, and finally look at the institution's legacy and future impact. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, Bridging the Education Gap. To truly appreciate what this institution has achieved, we actually have to rewind a bit to 2006. Back then, young women living in the southern suburbs of Islamabad faced these grueling, exhausting commutes all the way to the city center just for higher education. The government realized this was a major roadblock and moved fast. IMCG Humak started primarily as a higher secondary school certificate center, but the evolution was incredibly swift. It was quickly upgraded under the Islamabad model framework, morphing from a local school into a comprehensive degree-awarding college. And then, staying totally in step with Higher Education Commission reforms, they introduced 2-year associate degree programs and robust 4-year BS programs. They didn't just fill a geographical gap, they built a direct bridge to advanced academia. Which brings us to Section 2, the academic engine and its degree programs. The shift in their academic structure is massive. The old system was your standard traditional 2-year Bachelor of Arts or Science track, but the new system, it's a completely different ballgame. We're talking robust, 4-year BS programs directly affiliated with the highly prestigious Quaid-i-Azam University. This means students aren't just getting a broad, general overview anymore. They are diving deep into specialized, rigorous, research-oriented education that aligns with strict international standards. And the depth of these specializations is really impressive. IMCG Humak has rolled out 4-year degrees in chemistry, complete with dedicated analytical and organic lab work. But they also offer psychology, Urdu literature, economics, and Islamic studies. It's a fantastic balance. They're empowering these women with incredibly strong foundations in critical STEM fields, as well as the fundamental humanities. But, of course, an academic engine needs a driver. The college's culture of excellence is currently spearheaded by Principal Dr. Humaira Jabin. She holds a PhD in chemistry from Post-Tech in South Korea. Having that kind of global, high-level research experience at the top directly trickles down to the faculty and the students. It literally raises the bar for the entire institution.
Let's pivot slightly to Section 3, Federal Structure and Fees.
Because IMCG Humak is a public entity, it operates within a pretty dense federal civil service framework. It follows a strict basic pay scale, or BPS, hierarchy. You have the principal at the top at BPS 19 or 20, flowing down to the vice principal, then the heads of departments who serve as associate professors, down to the lecturers at BPS 17, and finally the essential support staff. It's a highly organized, highly accountable chain of command that ensures federal standards are being met in absolutely every classroom.
Now, operating in the public sector also means the financial framework is incredibly student-friendly. A one-time admission fee maxes out at around 4,000 Pakistani rupees. The monthly fee for HSSC students is just 1,000 to 1,500 PKR. You really have to contrast this heavily subsidized, government-regulated cost with the high-quality PhD-led instruction we were just talking about. The return on investment for these families is just phenomenal.
The crucial number to lock into your memory here is 5,000 to 8,000 PKR. That is the cost for an entire BS semester at this college. And yes, that includes lab and library charges. To put that in perspective, it means a world-class, research-affiliated university degree is genuinely accessible to the general public. It effectively shatters the financial barriers to higher education for young women in the area. Okay, moving on to Section 4, Campus and Student Life. Let's see what it's actually like there. The campus itself is built on a 3.5-acre plot right in Model Town Humak, and this location is strategic. It's positioned perfectly to serve developed residential zones like DHA Phase 2 and Baria Town while remaining fully accessible to the neighboring rural villages. It acts as an educational oasis right at the intersection of these very different communities. And they make excellent use of that space with purpose-built infrastructure. Junior and senior wings are completely separated to maintain academic focus. They've got dedicated departmental rooms for student-teacher consultations. But the real game changer, especially for those four-year degree students, is this centralized IT hub with high-speed internet and an extensive library that has direct portal access to Quaid-i-Azam University. These aren't just perks. They are the literal tools required to tackle advanced BS research papers and daily academic rigor.
Beyond the classroom, the culture is super vibrant. It's driven by a house system, Jinnah House, Iqbal House, and Fatima House, which really builds teamwork and healthy competition. Students are constantly competing in sports, debates, and STEM activities. And get this, IMCG Humak students recently secured first position in a regional STEM activities competition. So they aren't just showing up, they are actively dominating in highly competitive fields.
That brings us to our final section: legacy and future impact. So what is the real-world result of this rigid structure and intense academics? Well, by acting as a centralized hub, IMCG Humak is drastically increasing female literacy and professional participation across suburban Islamabad. It's taking young women from Humak, DHA, Baria Town, and the rural outskirts and handing them the unified platform they need to become highly educated professionals.
For some tangible proof, we can look at alumni like Fatima Zahara in computer science, Ayesha Khan in biology and chemistry, and Mariam Hassan in applied sciences. These are real women successfully using their heavily subsidized, locally accessible education to catapult themselves into the most competitive fields of medicine, engineering, and tech.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative question to wrap up our explainer today. How will institutions exactly like IMCG Humak continue to reshape the future of women in STEM? When public education successfully makes high-level, rigorous academic empowerment this accessible at a local level, the societal uplift is absolutely massive. Just imagine the potential waiting to be unlocked if this exact model were replicated in other communities. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you next time.